March Madness is rapidly approaching, and madness it will be. The seeds have been set, the games are about to be played, and everyone in history will be rooting for their bracket to remain perfect. But that will never happen, and deep down, we all know it. In 2019, a neuropsychologist for the US Department of Veteran Affairs named Gregg Nigl correctly picked 48 games in his March Madness bracket before his bracket was busted. And to this day, it's the closest someone has ever come to a perfect NCAA 63-game bracket. And getting this close is not the reality for pretty much everyone else that has ever placed a bracket. Bracket busters are teams that, against all odds, come out victorious against their higher-ranked opponents. These happen every single year, and the people who have brackets are usually blindsided by the endgame box score. A team that I am deeming one of the most likely to be this year's bracket busters is Yale, one of the Cinderella stories from 2024. Having upset the number 4 seed Auburn, will look to repeat its success this year. Yale is currently riding a 3-game winning streak after having won the Ivy League tournament to secure an auto bid into the March Madness tournament as a 13 seed against Texas A&M. The Yale Bulldogs have won 16 of 17 games and do a good job controlling the game with possessions that don't result in turnovers, and they shoot from 3 at a very efficient rate, 9th in NCAA teams. It might just be enough to catch the Aggies off guard and move on to the second round for a second straight year. The number 12 seed UC San Diego Tritons are matched up against number 5 seed Michigan, and this could be another potential bracket buster in this year's tournament. UC San Diego currently has a 15-game winning streak, which is the longest in the nation, and they have both an extra day of rest advantage on Michigan and are considered the best 12 seed in the tournament. Number 11 seed Drake could easily come out on top in their matchup against number 6 seed Missouri. Colorado State, one of the hottest teams in the country, a 12 seed, could upset number 5 Memphis. These are the kind of bracket busters that ruin the dream of a perfect bracket. Sure, 9 seeds beat 8 seeds all the time, and we've seen 10 seeds beat 7 seeds, but it's not truly shocking until you see something like UMBC. The collegiate abbreviation UMBC will always be associated with the word Virginia now and forevermore, because back in 2018, during the first round of the 2018 NCAA D1 men's basketball tournament, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, a 16 seed, upset the University of Virginia, who was a 1 seed in the first round. It was without a doubt shocking to witness, as Virginia was a 20.5 point favorite heading into the game, and they ended up losing by 20 points themselves. This marked the first time a 16 seed beat a 1 seed ever in the history of the tournament, and busted all remaining brackets in the official bracket challenge. Even recently, Fairleigh Dickinson upset Purdue in 2023, who was the top seed in the tournament. To make matters even worse for Purdue, they had a roster that included college basketball star center Zach Edey, who was a 7'4" and was one of the best forwards in college basketball at the time, while Fairleigh Dickinson was on record the shortest team in college basketball. It was David beating Goliath, and we've seen it in college basketball history. Number 8 seed Villanova in 1985 beat the top-seeded Michigan, the number 5 seed Maryland, the number 2 seed North Carolina, and the number 2 seed Memphis just to win a chance to play against Patrick Ewing and the defending champion Georgetown in the national championship. Villanova went on to shoot 78.6% from the field that game to complete one of the greatest runs in March Madness history. There are countless other bracket buster type games that leave us in awe and disappointment as our dreams of a perfect bracket are inevitably crushed. Like number 15 seed Florida Gulf Coast taking down number 2 seed Georgetown in 2013. Or St. Peter's beating number 2 seed Kentucky in overtime just 3 years ago. Business tycoon Warren Buffett, with a net worth of over $160 billion, once offered a $1 billion prize to any Berkshire Hathaway employee who could pick a perfect March Madness bracket. So what are you waiting for? The right life plan sounds like you should leave your current job and apply to work for Berkshire Hathaway and spend all year researching the best teams, their offensive and defensive net ratings, closely watching the injury reports, monitoring the transfer portals, following the money to see which players are incentivized the most to contribute to their school's basketball success, Hell, even go interviewing every single player and coach on how they are feeling and if they think they'll win their matchup ahead of them. At the end of the day, you'd only have to predict 63 correct NCAA tournament games correctly, and it would be worth it to hold up the billion-dollar top prize reward that Warren Buffett is offering, right? Let's slow down for a second and take a closer look at this game plan. Let's take a deeper look to see what the chances of picking a perfect NCAA March Madness tournament bracket even are. According to the mathematicians, the odds of predicting all 63 games. 63 games! Not 400, not 1,000, but only 63 games. The odds of getting every single winner correctly is 1 in 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 372 trillion, 36 billion, 854 million, 775,808. AKA 1 in 9.2 quintillion, otherwise known as 2 to the 63rd power. Again, I'm not a neuropsychologist, so let's see what is more likely to happen than for you and I to correctly pick 63 March Madness tournament game winners. The odds that were struck by lightning is 1 in 15,300. The odds of finding a two-headed animal in the wild are 1 in 100,000. The odds that were attacked by a shark are 1 in 3.75 million. The odds that you're struck by lightning twice are 1 in 9 million. The odds that you're in a plane crash are about 1 in 11 million. The odds that you win a major lottery like the Powerball are 1 in 292 million. The odds that you are struck by a meteorite and pass on to the next life are 1 in 840 million. And yet the odds of picking 63 correct outcomes in an NCAA basketball tournament are worse than your odds of being struck by lightning while you're being attacked by a shark. And yet every year, we put on our optimistic face paint and sit and watch as we hope and pray that our bracket remains perfect game after game, hoping to survive to day 2 or even day 3. Because every year a team rises above their competition and stands tall in the face of adversity. Every year, some team can claim the title of true bracket buster. And every year, I get my hopes up thinking I can correctly pick the 63 games and become the first person to ever claim a perfect bracket. This is the true madness of March.